Live from Johannesburg in South Africa. Bellarmine Mugabe, the son of the late former Zimbabwe's president Robert Mugabe, and his co-accused Tobias Mugabe Matonhodze are expected to face more charges when they appear in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court on the 3rd of next month for their bail application. The accused initially faced a charge of attempted murder, but just before their first appearance, police confirmed that they will face a case of defeating the ends of justice and possession of a firearm. The two remain in custody. Activists and Citizens Forum spokesperson Dennis Bloem says the case must be treated purely as a criminal matter with no political interference and urges the court to deny any preferential treatment. And for more on this, we are joined on the line by Activists and Citizens Forum spokesperson Dennis Bloem. Dennis, good afternoon and thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
Good afternoon, Lulu, and good afternoon to the listeners. Thank you very much.
Now, how does the Activists and Citizens Forum view the potential implications of this case on South Africa's justice system, particularly in terms of treating high-profile individuals and their families?
So the reason why we have said that this is a pure criminal case is because we don't want to see any interference from a political side. We are talking here about experience. You can recall a few years ago, the mother of this man who is accused now of shooting a gardener, the mother, Grace Mugabe, was also involved in a criminal matter in Johannesburg where she allegedly assaulted a woman, and there was political intervention into that case, and things went the other way. Now we are saying this case must not be treated as a political. We don't want to see any interference or preferential treatment in this case because it is a pure criminal case where these people are being charged with a firearm, with attempted murder, very serious charges. Defeating the ends of justice, very serious charges. That's why we are raising this point.
Now, Dennis, last week we spoke to ZANU-PF spokesperson Farai, and he was categorically quite adamant that they are not involved in this in any way in terms of, whether there would be diplomatic, interference or diplomatic assistance that would come from their side. And he said that they are not going to be doing that. So with that in mind, what specific actions do you expect from the police and the courts here in South Africa to ensure that the suspects in this case are not given preferential treatment, as you've urged?
No, firstly, we want to welcome what ZANU-PF have said, and we hope it will stay like that. What we are expecting from the courts of law in South Africa, the police and the court, is that we want to see that this case must be treated as a criminal case like all other criminal cases. No preferential treatment. We want to see that the victim must get justice and nothing else. The courts must make a firm example of and send out a strong message that a crime will not be tolerated in this country, especially where guns are involved, because guns in this country is a very serious problem, and we cannot tolerate it any longer. We must stop it, and it's only through the police and the court that this thing can be stopped by sending out a strong message. The first indication that the police and the courts have done now is that these two accused or three accused are still in detention. They are still in police cells or in prison. That is a very good sign and indication that this case is being taken seriously, and we hope that even when they appear in court next week, the prosecuting authority must put their foot down and say no bail, because it is a very serious charge, two charges against this suspect.
And just in wrapping up, Dennis, can you elaborate on what justice for the wounded victim looks like from the perspective of activists and Citizens Forum, and how do you plan to monitor the case to ensure this outcome?
No, what we are expecting is that one, there must never be a question of taking this case lightly, because it has to do with a life-threatening issue. This victim is lying in a hospital, according to reports, fighting for his life. So we are expecting that this case must be treated in a very serious light. We don't want to see any kick-ups on this matter. It must be taken as serious as the case itself is. A attempted murder and defeating the ends of justice is very serious charges, and we hope that this accused must stay in prison until they have proved their innocence before the court.
Well, Dennis, thank you so much for joining us. We are going to leave it there for today. That's activists and Citizens Forum spokesperson Dennis Bloem joining us on the line. It is 12:30 Central African time, and our news headlines up next.